welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Maureen, and let's get started by singing our hello song. When we sing hello, we will salute, and when we sing friends, we'll take our 2 fingers and have them give each other a hug. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Good job! Today we are talking about generosity. Generosity is the quality or the virtue of being kind and giving. Generosity comes in many different forms. Maybe you are generous with your time, or your toys, or your kind words. When everyone is generous, the world is a happy and beautiful place for everybody. One way that you can be generous is by sharing. Maybe you share your toys with your friends when they come to play, or you share food with people who are hungry, like food pantries or soup kitchens, or just with people that you invite over to your house to eat with you. That's being generous. What letter does share start with? It makes a sound. Share. S. Yes! Share starts with the letter S. S is for share. S. To sign the word share, take your non-dominant hand, so the one that we don't use for writing or for eating, and put it in front of you. And then we're going to take our dominant hand and brush it to the thumb and back to the fingers. Share. Share. Good job! Sharing is a great way to be generous, but giving is also a way to be generous. And I don't just mean giving objects, although that is definitely generous, but also giving your time, giving your patience to somebody. What letter does give start with? It makes a g sound. Give. Yeah, give starts with the letter G. G is for give. G. G. To sign the word give, pretend like you're grabbing something in your hand and giving it. Give. 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 Good job! And let's learn one more word. Let's learn generous. Generous starts with the letter G, just like give. G is for give, and G is for generous. G. To sign the word generous, pretend like you're grabbing something in both of your hands, and we're going to give. Because that's what being generous is. It's giving freely. Give. Generous. Generous. When you share or give, you are being generous. Good job, friends. Before we go into our first book, let's sing the alphabet together. You can pad along at home, you can sing along with me, or you can sign along with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job! It's generous with our things, to share our toys with our friends, to give away toys that we don't play with anymore, or clothes that we don't wear or can't fit into anymore, or to give food away to shelters and food pantries. But sometimes it's hard for people to be generous that way. Maybe they don't have a lot to give in the first place. And that's okay. There are so many ways to be generous. One of those ways is to be generous with your actions. Helping somebody is a great way to be generous. Our first book is about that. It's about being generous with our time and our energy to help those around us. This book is called That's What Friends Are For, by Florence Perry Heidi and Sylvia Von Cleef, and it's illustrated by Holly Mead. Let's read the inside flap to get an idea of what this book is about. Theodore the elephant has hurt his leg and can't meet his cousin at the end of the forest. What should he do? Of course, the other animals in the forest are more than willing to help Theodore by giving him plenty of advice. After all, that's what friends are for. Isn't it? That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. Theodore the elephant is sitting in the middle of the forest. He has hurt his leg. What a pity! Today Theodore was going to meet his cousin at the end of the forest. What can I do? Theodore says. My cousin is at the end of the forest, and here I am in the middle of the forest, and I have a bad leg, and I can't walk. I know what I'll do, Theodore says. I'll ask my friends for advice. That's what friends are for. Along comes Theodore's friend the bird. Why are you sitting here in the middle of the forest? Asked the bird. Because I have a bad leg, and I can't walk, and I can't meet my cousin at the end of the forest, says Theodore. If I had a bad leg, I would fly to the end of the forest, says the bird to Theodore. It's nice of you to give advice, says Theodore to the bird. That's what friends are for, says the bird. Along comes Theodore's friend, the Daddy Longlegs. Why are you sitting here in the middle of the forest? Asked the Daddy Longlegs. Because I have a bad leg, and I can't walk, and I can't fly, and I can't meet my cousin at the end of the forest, says Theodore. If I had a bad leg, says the Daddy Longlegs, I could walk anyhow, because I have 7 other legs. It's nice of you to give advice, says Theodore. That's what friends are for, says the Daddy Longlegs. Along comes Theodore's friend the monkey. Why are you sitting here in the middle of the forest? Says the monkey. Because I have a bad leg, and I can't walk, and I can't fly, and I don't have 7 other legs, and I can't meet my cousin at the end of the forest, says Theodore. If I had a bad leg, says the monkey, I would swing by my tail from the trees, like this. Well, says Theodore, I may have a very weak tail, but I have a very strong trunk. Theodore grabs the tree with his trunk. Crash! Well, anyhow, says Theodore, thank you for your advice. That's what friends are for, says the monkey. Along comes Theodore's friend the crab. Why are you lying down in the middle of the forest? Asked the crab.
Because I have a bad leg, and I can't walk, and I can't fly, and I don't have 7 other legs, and I can't swing from the trees by my tail or my trunk, and I can't meet my cousin at the end of the forest, says Theodore. If I had a bad leg, says the crab, I would get rid of it and grow another one. It's nice of you to give advice, says Theodore. That's what friends are for, says the crab. Along comes Theodore's friend the lion. Why are you sitting here in the middle of the forest? Asked the lion. Because I have a bad leg, and I can't walk, and I can't fly, and I don't have 7 other legs, and I can't swing from trees by my tail or my trunk, and I can't grow another leg, and I can't meet my cousin at the end of the forest, says Theodore. If I had a bad leg, says the lion, I would roar so loud that everyone would come running to see what was the matter. And he roars. What's all that noise? The opossum asks. He is hanging upside down by his tail. Theodore can't fly, says the bird. He can't get to the end of the forest to see his cousin, says the lion. We are giving him advice, says the crab. That's what friends are for. Nonsense, says the opossum. Friends are to help. Bring the cousin to Theodore. So all the friends go find Theodore's cousin at the other end of the forest. And they bring the cousin to Theodore. Theodore and his cousin and all the friends are having a party. Thank you for helping me, says Theodore to his friends. That's what friends are for, say the friends. To give advice is very nice, but friends can do much more. Friends should always help a friend. That's what friends are for. The end.
I have a special feltboard activity for us today. Instead of counting and singing, which I love to do, I'm going to tell a story using felt. We've done a couple of these, and I really enjoy them. So I'm going to tell you guys One Winter's Day by Christina Butler using felt. And if you like this story, we have the book in the library. And the fun thing about this book is that you can actually touch the hedgehog's hat and scarf and mittens, and they're fuzzy. So it's a nice little addition to this book. Makes it extra fun to hold in your hands and read on your own. This is Hedgehog. And this is Hedgehog's winter nest, where Hedgehog keeps his winter clothes. One day, a wild and huge winter storm blew in, and the wind was so strong that it blew Hedgehog's nest right off the ground and up and away, breaking it apart in the process. Hedgehog's winter clothes went flying too, but Hedgehog was just able to catch them. His mittens, his scarf, and his hat. Even with his winter clothes, Hedgehog was still so cold in the storm without his nest. I must go stay at Badger's until the storm is over, says Hedgehog, and starts on his way. He hasn't gone very far when he sees a family of mice in a field, shivering in the cold storm. Oh, it's so cold, says the mother mouse. Our home blew away in the storm and my babies are freezing. My My home also got destroyed, said Hedgehog. I'm going to stay with Badger. But here, I have something for you. And Hedgehog took off his warm, cozy hat and gave it to the family of mice for them to curl up inside. They were much toastier now. Oh, thank you, Hedgehog, said the mother mouse and her babies. And Hedgehog continued on his way to Badger's. Hedgehog hadn't gone very far when he ran into Otter. Hello, Otter, said Hedgehog. What are you doing? Otter was rubbing his hands together and blowing on them. Otter said, My fur keeps me warm, but my hands are freezing. Hedgehog took the mittens off of his own hands and handed them to Otter. Here, these will keep your hands warm. Thank you, Hedgehog, said Otter, his fingers already feeling much, much warmer. Why aren't you at home during this storm? I don't have a home anymore, said Hedgehog. I'm going to stay with Badger until the storm is over. And Hedgehog continued on his way. He hadn't walked much further when he spotted a fawn and her mother deer. Hello, Hedgehog, said the mother. Why aren't you in your nest during such a storm? I don't have a nest anymore, said Hedgehog. It blew away in the storm, but I'm going to stay with Badger. As Hedgehog was talking, he noticed the baby fawn was shivering from the cold. Hedgehog unwound his scarf and wrapped it around the baby fawn's neck. Here, this will help to keep you warm, said Hedgehog. Thank you, Hedgehog, said the mother, and Hedgehog continued on his way. Hedgehog was very cold now. He had nothing to keep him warm. And as he walked, the snow fell harder and harder around him. Hedgehog slipped on an icy patch and started tumbling. Oh no! As he tumbled over himself, he gathered snow. And he kept gathering snow and kept tumbling right into Badger's door. Thump! Badger, who was just about to sit down with a nice warm cup of tea, heard the sound and got up. What could that be? When he opened the door, Hedgehog rolled in, covered in snow and frozen. Poor Hedgehog! Badger gathered Hedgehog up in his arms and took him over to the fire. Hedgehog slowly warmed up, and after telling Badger about his adventure there, he fell asleep, cozy by the warm flames. When the storm was finally over, Badger took Hedgehog out to find some things to build a new home with. But Badger, how am I going to build a new home? If all of the twigs and the leaves and everything that I need to build it with will have blown away. Don't worry, Hedgehog, said Badger, patting him on the head. I will help you. Hedgehog rounded the corner and, surprise! The family of mice were there, the otter was there, and the mama and baby deer were there. All of the friends that he had helped had built him a new nest. And it was cozy and lovely and better than the nest he had before. In fact, it was the best nest he had ever seen. Thank you, friends, said Hedgehog. And he crawled into his new, cozy nest. The end. Isn't it great to have friends like Hedgehog and like Theodore from our book, who are generous with their time and with their energy? I have a song about friends, and this is one that we've sung before, but let's go over it one more time so you can follow along with the hand movements. This song is called Friends, Friends, 1, 2, 3. When we sing Friends, we'll take our 2 fingers and have them hug. So we'll sing friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me. Can you help me with that? Friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me. You're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend. Friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me. Friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me. You're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend. Friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me. Good job, friends. Our next book is called Little Snowman Stan, Can't We Share? And it's written by Guido van Gennischen. And let's read the back here to get an idea of what this book is about. One day, a strange snowman named Dimitri arrives in Friesland. He's sad because he lost his hat on his journey. Little Snowman Stan lends Dimitri his hat for a couple of days, but he doesn't get it back. Dimitri doesn't seem to want to share. So what can Little Snowman Stan do? Let's find out.
Little Snowman Stan, can't we share? Little Snowman Stan, can't we share? In Friesland, it's always nice and cold. The ice doesn't melt, and there is always snow. Little Snowman Stan only just started living in Friesland, but he has already made many friends. Today, they are having a snowball fight. From the top of a snow mound, Hugo tries to hit Little Stan. "You missed," Little Stan says, immediately throwing a snowball at Hugo. Snowmen of all shapes and sizes live in Friesland. Small and big, round and angular, thick and thin. Some of the snowmen carry brooms or a dry branch, and some of the snowmen wear scarves. Some of the snowmen have black buttons on their bellies, as if they are wearing a white coat. All of the snowmen have something on top of their heads: a top hat, a bucket, a flower pot, a straw hat, a silly cap, a tin can. A snowman simply always wears a hat. Little Snowman Stan is proud of his beautiful blue plaid hat. But one day, there arrives in Friesland a snowman with a bare head. "I am Dimitri," the stranger introduces himself. "I come from the east." "Hello, Dimitri," say Little Stan and his friends. "Welcome to Friesland." And one by one, the snowmen give the stranger a friendly snow handshake. "Why aren't you wearing anything on your head?" Little Stan asks. "Oh," Dimitri says with a sigh, "I had a hat. When I left my country, it was still on my head. A beautiful high hat it was, black as the night without a moon and soft as fresh snow. Little Stan tries to picture the soft black hat. But along the way, Dimitri continues, I suddenly got caught in a terrible blizzard, and the wind snatched the hat right off my head. I looked for hours, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Sad, without my hat, I kept going until I arrived here. Little Stan is deeply impressed by Dimitri's story. You can have my hat for a couple of days, says Little Stan. How generous! Dimitri puts on Little Snowman Stan's blue hat. Thank you very much, young man. My name is Little Stan. Dimitri hums to himself. This hat fits perfectly. Thank you once again, Little Stan. And now I'm going to get some rest because I am exhausted from my long journey. For the next few days, Little Stan feels very strange without his hat. Different. A little bit like a stranger in his own homeland. But then he thinks about poor Dimitri, about how sad he was because his hat was blown away. Little Stan feels better. He knows Dimitri will only borrow his hat for a couple of days. After that, Little Stan will surely get his hat back. After 10 days have gone by, Little Stan really starts to miss his blue hat. He goes to see Dimitri. Hello, Dimitri, Little Stan starts. How are you doing? Very well, Dimitri answers. My first days in Friesland were hard, but now I feel completely at home here. That's nice, Little Stan says. But, can I have my hat back now, please? Your hat? Dimitri sounds surprised. I really can't give up this hat. Without it, I would feel so naked. And then Dimitri pulls Little Snowman Stan's blue hat down tighter on his head. Disappointed, Little Stan talks with his friend, Alfred, a wise old snowman who has seen a lot of the world. He listens carefully to Little Stan's story about Dimitri, about the snowman's long journey and how he lost his hat in a blizzard along the way, and about how Little Stan loaned the newcomer his own hat so many days ago. And now he doesn't want to give it back, Little Stan says between sobs. Everything will be all right, Alfred comforts Little Stan. I promise you. Come. Alfred calls together the Freetown snowmen to the big ice square. He tells them the whole story about how Little Snowman Stan has been so nice to loan his hat to Dimitri, but how Dimitri doesn't want to give it back. And now, concludes Alfred, as you can see, our little Stan has no hat to cover his head. What can we do about this? Everyone imagine how you would feel if it happened to you. Dimitri deserves to be punished, someone yells. He should give the hat back immediately. He must find his own hat, someone else says. Or make a hat for himself out of snow. A few of the snowmen laugh. Little Stan is still very young, an older snowman says. Maybe he can get used to having a bare head. Is that all you can think of? Alfred is very disappointed. Maybe, Little Stan says suddenly, we can share my hat. Now that is a very good idea, comments Alfred. Let's all share. There are a lot of us. If everyone joins in, the problem can be easily solved. We will each give our hats and caps to someone who doesn't have one for a day. It will only last one day, and everyone will get their turn to wear a hat. And instantly, Alfred sets an example by putting his own hat on little snowman Stan's head. "That's great," Alfred says, rubbing his bare head. "We can all share our hats this way." And from that day on, the hats and caps and other headwear in Friesland continuously changed heads. Everyone shares their hats, including Dimitri, and anyone walking around with a bare head for a day feels great knowing he'll have a hat again soon. Because that's what sharing is all about. The end.
It's so good that everybody in that book learned to share. And even though there's not enough hats for everybody to wear one all the time, they found a way to share so that everyone gets a chance to wear one most of the time, and nobody goes without completely. I have a song about sharing our toys, and we have some hand movements for this song as well. We are going to use the sign for time. Do you know the sign for time? We sing it every day. Next time, won't you sing with me? Remember? Time, like in the alphabet song. Time. We pat twice on our wrist. Time. So we will say, it is time to share. Remember share? Share our toys with our friends. We all know friends. So we'll put those together. It's time to share our toys with our friends. And let's sing it slowly first so we can get used to the hand movements. Oh, it's time to share our toys with our friends. Oh, it's time to share our toys with our friends. Oh, it's time to share our toys. It's time to share our toys. It's time to share our toys with our friends. Good job! Let's try singing it a little faster this time. Oh, it's time to share our toys with our friends. Oh, it's time to share our toys with our friends. Oh, it's time to share our toys. It's time to share our toys. It's time to share our toys with our friends. Good job! Sharing makes playing together so much more fun. You can't really play a game with somebody else if you hog all the toys to yourself, can you? And I know sometimes we like to play on our own, and that's totally fine. Sometimes we just need to do our own thing, right? But lots of games can be a lot more fun if we have friends join with us. And you can't do that without sharing. And I know sometimes it can be hard to give up something that you are having a lot of fun with, but just finish your turn and then pass it on. And you'll see how happy it makes your friends. That'll make you feel happy too. Speaking of friends, I have another song about being friends. This one involves some body movements. We're gonna move around a little bit, get some stretches going. So if you'd like to join me with those movements, please stand up. Let's start by waving. Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine, and Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and spin along with me? Ooh, oh, dizzy. Good job, friends. Can we jump? Will you be a friend of mine and jump along with me? Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and jump along with me? Yay! Good job! Let's clap! Will you be a friend of mine and clap along with me? Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and clap along with me? Yay! Good job, friends! I have one more book for us today. It's called Rabbit's Gift, and this is a story that is based off of a Chinese fable. So that means it's a story that's been told for a very long time, sometimes in different ways. This story is retold by George Shannon and Laura Dronzek. Let's read the inside flap to get a little bit of an idea of what this story, this fable, is about. Snow is coming soon, so Rabbit needs to find food fast. Just in time, a turnip turns up, and a second one too. Who in the woods wouldn't want to tuck away an extra turnip for the long winter? Not Rabbit. He chooses a different path and starts a wave of generosity that spreads to all of his forest friends. When we read this story, why don't you try to think about what this story is trying to teach us?
Rabbit's Gift. Rabbit's Gift. A fable from China. Rabbit twitched his nose in the cold, damp air. Time to find food. More snow was coming soon. He hopped and pawed through the field till he found a turnip. Then a second one, too. Quickly as he could, Rabbit rolled them home. Rabbit grinned as he nibbled. A turnip always makes for a cozy meal. Warm and safe, he thought about Donkey alone on the hill and wondered if she found enough to eat. Rabbit gently butted his extra turnip to Donkey's house. But Donkey wasn't there. Rabbit left the turnip by the door, then hopped back home as his tracks disappeared in the falling snow. When Donkey returned with a potato she'd found, she nearly stepped on the turnip by the door. "Who could have left this nice surprise?" asked Donkey. "My potato is plenty for me. Goat's always hungry. I'll take this to him." Donkey hurried to her neighbors, but Goat wasn't there. Donkey left the turnip by the door, then climbed back home as her tracks disappeared in the falling snow. When Goat returned with a cabbage he'd found, he nearly stepped on the turnip by the door. "Dear me," said Goat, "someone's lost a turnip. And with all this snow? Maybe it was Deer when she passed this way." Goat tucked his cabbage inside the door, then rolled the turnip around the bend to Deer's house. But Deer wasn't there. Goat left the turnip by the door, then trudged back home as his tracks disappeared in the falling snow. When Deer came home with the carrot she'd found, she nearly stepped on the turnip by the door. "How kind," said Deer. Someone's left me a gift, but there's no need to keep more than I can eat. With the snow this deep, Rabbit couldn't have found much food. Deer took high steps through the deep, deep snow. Rabbit was home, but sound asleep. Deer left the turnip by the door, then leaped back home as her tracks disappeared in the falling snow. The next morning, Rabbit woke up early. After a nibble of his turnip, he was ready to play. But as he stepped outside, Rabbit tripped on another turnip lying by the door. Who in the woods could have brought me this? Rabbit looked for tracks, but the night's fresh snow had erased everything. I don't know who to thank. Then Rabbit slowly grinned. But I know just who to share it with. Yes, a turnip always makes for a cozy meal. And there's a little author's note in the back. It reads, Rabbit's gift is based on a folk tale that has been shared for centuries. More than 25 years ago, I first discovered an English translation of a German version that attributed the story to China. Since then, I have found Japanese, French, and Spanish retellings. Some of these translations credit Fang Yi Qian, but I have not been able to trace that source. The core narrative of the story has also been collected in Syria and Jordan. No doubt, like most folk tales, this story exists among and beyond these cultures. Now, through this book, I share it with you. And at the bottom are the Chinese symbols for rabbit, donkey, goat, and deer.
I really like that story because one character's act of generosity inspires so many others to act generously. Sometimes it might not feel like you're making much of a difference, but even little acts of generosity can turn into big movements of generosity. Every time you act generously, you could change someone's day. You could change someone's life. And who knows, you might even change the whole world. Living generously is something that is so simple to do and to practice, but something that can be so profound in the change that it makes. I have one more song for us today, and this one is called Let's Work Together to Build a Better World. And we have hand movements for this one too. So for our first verse, we're going to sing, let's work together. Let's work together. Let's work together to build. We'll stack our hands on top of each other like we're building a better, pull into a thumbs up, world. You can take two W's and spin them around, or you can just take two fingers and spin them around. World. Let's try it. We'll sing it slow the first way through. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's work together to build a better world. Good job. Let's sing that one more time, but a little faster. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's work together to build a better world. Good job. Now can we sing, let's play together? Let's play together. Let's play together. Let's play together to build a better world. Good Good job! How about we sing together? Let's sing together. Let's sing together. Let's sing together to build a better world. Good job. And finally, can we share together? Let's share together. Let's share together. Let's share together to build a better world. Good job. Can we try putting all of those together? We will work together. We will play together. We'll sing together, and we'll share together. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's work together to build a better world. Let's play together. Let's play together. Let's play together to build a better world. Let's sing together. Let's sing together. Let's sing together to build a better world. Let's share together. Let's share together. Let's share together to build a better world. Good job. That's it for our story time today. I had a lot of fun. I hope that you did too. And I'll see you all next week. We have the Facebook Live story time on Tuesday at 1:30. That's kind of like a prequel for the pre-recorded one on YouTube. Usually read a couple different books than we do with this story time. And we'll sing some of the songs that we sing in this story time so you can get a little heads up about what we're going to sing and maybe practice it a little bit if you're interested in that. And we also have our Zoom story times on Wednesdays at 3:30, and we're still doing our outdoor story times, but the outdoor story time changes every week depending on the weather, so please check out our website, which is linked in the description, to keep up to date on the current schedule. Stay tuned for an at-home activity, but first let's sing our goodbye song. We're going to wave, and we're going to clap. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends and wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, friends. For our craft today, we are going to build a little nest for our friend Hedgehog. For this craft, you will need a piece of background paper. I picked green, but you can pick any color you like. A piece of brown or black scrap paper for the den, a piece of light brown or tan scrap paper for our hedgehog, a couple different colors of scrap paper for the leaves to make our hedgehog's den nice and cozy warm. I picked colors of fall leaves, orange, red, yellow, but you can use any colors that you want. You'll need some glue, some scissors, and a pencil. And finally, some markers. We're going to start by making our hedgehog. Our hedgehog's body is going to be an oval or a flattened circle. And our hedgehog's nose is going to be a long, skinny triangle coming out of the front of the oval. And we'll give it a little circle on the tip of that. And then we just want to give our hedgehog a couple spikes. So make a couple spikes along the top of our hedgehog's back. And now we just want to cut our hedgehog out. You'll want to flip it around to the side that doesn't have any pencil markings on it. And go ahead and give your hedgehog a little face. Maybe an eye, a little smile, and anything else you want to add to your hedgehog. Now we're going to make our hedgehog's den. So take your brown or your black piece of paper, and we want to trim it down so it's a long rectangle.
We don't want it to be too small. We want to make sure that it's a little bit wider than our hedgehog. Now we want to take our brown or black rectangle and fold it in half the short way. Now we want to add some glue to each of these outside sides, but not this third side. No glue there, just this side and this side. And we'll push that down and glue those sides together. We still have this side open. Now we want to cover one side of our folded piece of paper with glue and stick it onto our background. Now we just want to rip up little pieces of our colored paper and glue it onto our brown den. The last thing that we want to do is just decorate our background however you want. Maybe add some trees, maybe some snow, maybe some animal friends, maybe a sun. I don't know, get creative. Now that our den is built and it looks so cozy and warm and our backdrop is all set, we can let our little friend Hedgehog slip into his den and get cozy for winter. And the best part about this is he can always come out again when he's ready to play. Thanks, friends. Have fun.